So our last conversation / grammar, CPE vocabulary, and look how much vocabulary came out of this. Look how much vocabulary came out of such a small piece of text, tiny piece of text, but the biggest set of vocabulary I've ever been through with a group in my life. If something is objective, it's a view based on facts. It feels neutral and unbiased. But if it is subjective, it's a view based on emotions. Here's a lovely expression. To get in the way of something is to interfere with it or block it. If something is objectionable, it comes from the word object. If you object to something, you're saying no. If something is objectionable, it means you really don't like it. You don't like something. Here's an expression that my mum used to use. Your behaviour is objectionable, Michael, she used to say to me. Not often. Merely means just, only, simply, purely. If something is prejudiced, and this is a word that came up a lot today, it means biased. It means narrow-minded. You're a very narrow-minded person if you're prejudiced. Some people use the word closed-minded, but I prefer this one. This is much better. Stubborn. You're so stubborn because you've got a narrow-minded point of view and you won't move because you're so prejudiced. One-sided. Something extraordinary is amazing. If I see red, I'm angry. You know, I'm completely blind. I can only see red and I get really angry. It's a lovely expression. A threat is basically a violent consequence if you don't do what I tell you to do. So do your homework or I will kill you. There you go. Nonsense means rubbish. Reason, well, it's got these couple of meanings. You can say, the reason for this is that. Yeah, the reason for my behaviour. But reason in this context means reasonable or rational. You know, someone was trying to reason with somebody, trying to present more like a balanced argument, for example. To submit means to surrender or give in. And yes, Fernanda, you were right. Sometimes you can submit an application. As you submit a form, it means you give it in. You give it in to somebody. And so, give in means to give it in to somebody, or it means surrender. I give in. So it has these dual meanings. If you do something stoutly, it's proudly. If you condemn something, you sentence them, you punish them. Okay, over here, noble. If you're a noble person, you're good, you are respected. If something is exhilarating, it's exciting. If something is regarded, if I regard everyone here as wonderful, I think you are wonderful. I consider that you are wonderful. And remember that sometimes we sign the ends of our emails, kind regards, because it's saying kind considerations, kind thoughts. To betray means to cheat, deceive and lie. To blame is to accuse. Virtue is a good value, a good quality, and the opposite is vice, bad value, bad quality. Furtive, you might need to look this up because I'm not 100% sure I'm right, but I think it means something like cautious or nervous. You do something, there's some sort of guilty feeling there, possibly. If something is mock, it's fake. If you're an au pair or you look after children, sometimes they do mock exams at school, which means not the real exam, just like a pretend exam, like we'll be doing next week, pretend exams. If something's immoral, it's wrong, it's against virtues, it's unethical. If you're aggressive, you're mean, you're brutal, thank you for that. You're hot-headed, thank you for these great words. It's lovely to be able to teach a new word and then look at some of the old words that we've learned before and find synonyms this way. A sneer is a disgusted look. And if something is mitigated, it means you make something less extreme or you balance it in some way. That is a lot of vocabulary for an hour and a half. Well done.